So Ugdoila Mizu, greater even than this. Before the Alter Rebbe discusses that the all of the inyonim that you talk about, the names of Hashem as he brought down, or that we talk about the investment, it's all in the spheres, it's all in the kelim. But the oir itself is not called by the name of the keli. That's not called chokhmah. It's dressed in the keli of chokhmah. So he says now, more than that, ugedolim izu kosav bepardis shar atzomis v'kelim. So more than this is written in the pardis shar atzomis v'kelim perik dalet. So there it says shafilu. Here we're talking about the oir before it comes down into the keli. And we're saying there is no shinui, there is no hagbola and medida in the oir that comes down into the keli. But in the part, there's sharat somas v'kelim perik dalet. Over there it says even more. Shafilu b'ha'oir v'haziv hamelubash ba'kelim esesfiras. Even in the light and the ray, which is already dressed up in the esesfiras. Ein ba'atzmu sahu shinui v'gavan klal. In that essence, in that oir that is dressed up in the keli, there is no change and there is no color at all. Lo din v'lo rachamim, not judgment, not compassion. Lo yamin, not right, v'lo smoil, and not left, chulu, etc. Basically, that over there we have no shape, no form, no medida, no hagbola. There is pashut. There is no din, rachmi, minusma. And this is talking about the oil which is already dressed in the kelim. In the kelim of Atzilus. Afal pi shekol pu'ulais elu haboim v'harachamim v'hadin. Although all acts, the act of judgment, the act of compassion, haboim v'harachamim v'hadin, that come from the compassion and the judgment, nimshach v'nishpa ma'ir daika de kelim, comes and is and the flows from the oil through the kelim. So it's not like the kelim are the ones that are mashpia. It's the oil that is mashpia, but the oil itself doesn't have itself the color. As other places is brought down the example, but this concept is like filling a cup that is a green cup or a yellow cup, and the water is plain. It doesn't have any color. But when you look through the lens, the green or the yellow lens, it looks like it's yellow water, it looks like it's green water. So you're looking at the water, but the water itself doesn't have any color. The color comes through the keli, through the lens. Other place it brings down, that would be an example for this. V'hinei hakeli da'atzilus heim gamken alakus mamish. Behold, even the kelim of Atzilus are also godly, mamish godly. And we say v'ihu v'garmo yichad. Hashem, ihu, he, and garmoy and his kelim are really one. So basically, even the keli are one with Hashem and the godliness. V'ayim izebi geres hakodesh b'dibur hamaschil ivechayoy chulu. V'ayim hashekos v'alposik erden averuchulu. V'af ha'oir Hamahaves kolasfiris. Also, the oil that creates spheres, which means spheres are already mugbal. Spheres are already measured and mugbal. The light that creates the spheres, that brings these spheres, hura kemoi ziv hashemesh. That is also only like the ray that comes from the sun. The ray that comes from the sun, when there is the sun, there's a shine. But whether it shines or not, whether there are a recipient, the ray that comes doesn't matter. Asher einei poyel shum shinui be'etzem hamoir. The ray doesn't change anything in the luminary itself. The sun, the luminary, doesn't make a difference if it shines or it doesn't shine. So let's say when it's cloudy and it doesn't shine or the shine doesn't come down, it makes no difference. The shemesh is there, it shines. If there's somebody to receive it, he'll receive it. No. But it doesn't change. The shemesh is not invested in giving off the shine. Shine is automatic, it comes by itself. It's not like the shemesh has to make it shine from it. It shines by itself. And therefore, it doesn't impact any change in the luminary. So whether it's shining or not, to the moir, it makes no difference. And lochein, nikra, and that's why we call it b'shem oir ein soif, because it's a level of like a shine. It's a light of the ein sof. It's not a hashpah. It's not a flow from the ein sof. It's a reflection. It's a light that comes from the ein sof. Shu loshin ziv v'ha'oreh ba'alma. That there is a ziv and a ray and a shine alone. So number one, we're discussing over here that the oir that has to create the spheres, the 10 spheres of Atzilus, does not come down in an active way, but in a reflective way. In other words, it's a ray, it's not an hashpah, it's oir himself. But now he's going to say, and yet directly from the oir to make spheres, even in the level of oir, that could not happen. We need keser in between. We need a station in between the oir and Atzilus. We need an additional intermediary. That's the keser, which has the two parts of atik and arich. Atik is the end of the Ein Sof. Arich is the beginning of Ne'etzolim. And through Keser, the Ein Sof can then later on create the 10 spheres of Atzilus. It says, Achgam Zois, but also this, Kidei Sheyiyeh Ha'oir Ein Sof Yochel Loveli De Gilui. In order for this light of the Ein Sof to become revealed in Atzilus, that all these spheres should be created from this light. So first we need to have an intermediary, a memutze, between the Maitzel and those that were brought into Netzal from the Maitzel. The Oz, and then through this level of the Memutze, Yuchal Ha'oir Ein Sof, Lahavos Ulahachis HaSfiris. So then the Ein Sof can create and vitalize the Sfiris. V'hamemutza, what is the memutza? Zehu keser, that is keser. The memutza is keser because sheyesh boi mebchina achroino shebemaitzel. Keser has the last level of the maitzel, and also v'yesh boi bechino shenikra shoydesh hanetzolim. He has a level which is called the root of netzolim. It has the last level of the maitzel, and it also has the level which is called the root of netzolim. Okay, that's why lip'omim nikra hakeser oid ein sof. Sometimes keser is called oid ein sof. That is because of the last madrega of the maitzel, which is in keser. As he explains in the parentheses, the hainu mitzad b'chino ha'achroino shebemaitzel sheyesh boy, because the last level of the maitzel that is in keser, that's ein sof shebechino zu einem b'min eser sfiras klal. That level is not counted with the 10 spheres. In other words, in that level, keser can not be counted with atzilus, with the 10 spheres of atzilus, because that's the level of the atik, which is the last level of the maitzel. But because of the part of where is a root of the netzolim, which is the level of arich, nimna be'eser spheres. That's why it is counted with the eser spheres. So you say keser is an atik for, when we count the 10 spheres of atzilus, we'll say, and then comes keser, because that's the shoyresh hanetzolim, which is in keser. Alkein, because it has both. It has the bechina achrein of the maitzel, and it has the shoyresh hanetzolim. Alkein, hu bechinas memutza. That's why keser is a intermediary. Because the essence of the maitzil, why do we need keser to stand in between the Ein Sof and Atzilus? Is because atzmusei umehusei shel hamaitzil, because the essence and the maitzil, what it is, which is Eitzav Ein Sof, the Es Ein Sof, Einoi begeder olmin klol. Einoi begeder olmin. It's not in the defines of the world at all. Sheyuchal lovoi begilui ha'oir v'ha'hashpo mimenu. So that it should come, the light should be revealed, and the flow would come from the Maitzil, from Hashem. So even the Ein Sof, it can't come down there. It's too much. It's not in the same yeder. Abbeil Atzilus. It can't come down even if the world of Atzilus. If not, that we have the level of this intermediate. So now the Alter Rebbe goes away in a long parenthesis, which goes till the end of the Ois Aleph, trying to explain the Loshen that we quoted before from the Pardes, and that we're talking about now. It says in the I think it was the Loshen of the Pardes. He calls it in the Mamer. I was just wondering whether he calls it in the Mamer, the Keser, he calls it Bechina Achroina. He said there is the level of Atik that we're discussing, we call it the last level. Alter Rebbe is going to go into a lengthy explanation. How could we say last or first if we're talking about Ein Sof? How would we call and say the last level of Ein Sof? If it is Ein Sof, then it doesn't have a last level. Uma sheyesh lahavin, and that which we need to understand. Eich shayich loymar be'Ein Sof b'china achrona. How does it apply? How do we say in the infinite, in the Ein Sof, it's the last level? Iloi shayich b'chinas achrona or rishona, because it doesn't apply to say last or first. Rak b'mokim sheshayich loymar roish v'soif. Only in a place where you can say it's the beginning and in the end. So the end becomes the last and the beginning becomes the first. Where is their first and end? When we talk about Atzilus, when we talk about the 10 spheres, so Chokhmah is the first and Malchus is the last. That's called the first of the Hishtalshalus. And the Malchus Nikra Seifa the Choldaragin. And Malchus is called the end of all the levels. Mashen came Be'ein Sof Baruch Hu. But when we talk about the infinite, blessed be He, She'ein Loi Kates V'roish, He has no end. He has no beginning, no top, no head. And it's simple. There is no separation, no division. There's no differences. So what's the idea of saying that this is the last level? What kind of a last level is? What level is this last? So first, the Alter Rebbe says that the Rebbe is going to give a further explanation. So the Alter Rebbe explains it to say based on what was explained in many places. How we explain the Pirush Mamer Azal explaining the saying of our sages that say that ad shaloi nivra ha'olam, that prior to the world being created, hoyahu ushmoi bilvad. So He, Hashem, and His name were alone. What is this idea of the Eibishter's name before there was a world? Usually we understand a name to be something which others call you by your name. A person, for example, on his own doesn't need a name. His name is a way of other people to reach them. So the name is an external from the person, so people can call him. But if we're saying that there was before creation of the world, what purpose was there to a name of Hashem? And who called Hashem in His name? So the Yedua Kushya, Eich Shayich Koidem Briyas Ha'ilam, how does it fit that before the world was created, Liyas B'chinas Shem LaKodesh Baruch Hu, there should be a name for HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Umi Kor Oy B'Shmoi, who called him in His name? The idea is, Alter Rebbe is going to explain now the idea of the shame in the Ein Sof, that even over there, are you saying something, David?
No, I'm breathing. I am my microphone is quite good. So
no problem.
I breathe immediately
Yeah, okay. No, I thought maybe you're commenting something. Okay.
No. Everything's fine.
It's powerful stuff over here.
Yeah.
Ispashtus achayis animshech mimenu Yizborich lahachi is kol ha'olamois va'eser sfiris. He's going to explain that the shame means, shame over here means reflection. It doesn't mean tzir, it means reflection. Let's see. Hispashtus achayis animshach mimenu yizborich lahachye is kol ha'olamois va'ein sof. The expansion of the vitality that extends from him blessed to vitalize the worlds and the Eser Spheres. Ein hispashtus v'hamshocha zu rak b'chinas shem. That expansion, it expands into a world, it expands into a Eser Spheres. That expansion, expanding to that, it's called shame. Why is it called shame? Shehurak ziv v'ha'ora ba'alma. A name means that it is only a ray and a shine. That's why we call it shame. Shame means not a essence, not a part of the Ein Sof. It's just a ray. Benikra oir Ein Sof. And we call it the Oir Ein Sof. There's a difference between Ein Sof and Oir Ein Sof. That's the light of the Ein Sof. That's the shame. The shame is the Oir Ein Sof. But the Ein Sof, that is the essence. He is raised and exalted, meaning he does not expand into the world. The Ein Sof itself does not change. Cool. Now, going to explain what does it mean, the shame, the Ein Sof, the Ein Sof, before Achel and Nivra Olam, that they had the shame. That would be a potential, not an actual expression, not an actual, but only a potential. Even before the world was created, we have the ability to create worlds. The fact that the Ein Sof is able to create words, the fact that there is an ability, there's a potential for the Ein Sof to be revealed. And that from him there will be a ray, a shine and a ray when his simple will, which means a non-defined, Ein Sof, it is Ein Sof. There is a potential that from the Ritzoynei HaPoshut there will be a Erviziv. Zehu HaNikra B'chinas Shmoi, Shehoyo Achel Nivra Olam. That is what's called Shmoi, that was before the world was created. You had that level of Shmoi. You had a level of a potential from it to come. Shekoyach v'yichoylis zeh, that power and that potential, this potential, nikro b'chinas shmoi hakolul ba'atzmusay. That is called shmoi. It's not out of his atzmus. It's not the ha'ora yet, but it's a ha'ora which is included in the essence, in the Ein Sof, that potential to create, expand, that potential is called the shame. And this is the last level of the Ma'atzah. By example, the name of a person, which is considered like nothing and zero next to the Atzmus. It is only from this level. So Hashem is considered like nothing, level to the Atzmus. That's the level of the Shem. And it's only from this level that becomes an Atik and the Keser of Atzilus, the part of as the Bechina Achroino, the Atik and the Keser of Atzilus. That's already justified to call it the last level. Why do we call it the last level? Why is it last? Based on the language as explained elsewhere. This is not the main thing of godliness, the fact that the worlds are created from Hashem, from Elokus, and that the world receives their energy and their creation from His blessed Elokus. That's not the main thing of Elokus. It's not the main, it's the last level. That's why it's Achrona. Share Ato hu ad shelo nivra ha'olam ulach shenivra ha'olam b'shaveh, because Hashem is before and after, before the world was created and after created. B'shaveh mamish, equally mamish. And therefore, that's not the main thing of Hashem is creating a world, because the world doesn't really touch Hashem at all. Even if Hashem had not created the worlds, everything would have been just the same before Him, blessed, just like now that He created the world. The fact that He created the world and before creation doesn't make a difference. This that He does vitalize, that's not the main godliness, but what He vitalizes and creates the world. This is only and merely through a shine that comes from Him, blessed. And that's the life of all the worlds. That is the level of the ha'orah that comes. That is from the level of oir ein sof. Avol mehusei batzmusei yizborech, but the essence and blessed essence of Hashem hu l'maylo ein ketz mebechinas ha'orah zu. That is infinitely higher. Hashem Himself, blessed, is higher than this ha'orah. This ha'orah she chaya chaim shekol ha'olamis, right? Olamis.
Yes, ha'olamis.
That's the chayim. That's much more on a higher madrega. Ukelo mamish chashivi kamei yizborech, and it's considered like nothing before Hashem, blessed. That's why we call this the last level. From anything possible in the Maitzil Baruch Hu, the last level would be the same. Hine Gam bechinas ziv ve'oir hamispashit min hashemesh, even the level of the ray and the shine that expands from the sun. So when there is oir, if there is oir outside of the sun, there is a ray we have to say the ray is also in the sun. But over there, it's only the level of potential. Let's see. The hine zeh poshut she'oir v'ziv hazeh yesh legam kein beguf kader hashemesh atzmei chulu. We have to say this is obvious that the light and the ray that is outside also exists in the actual kadur, the ball of the sun itself. There is a ray inside. However, the nechshav haziv hazeh la'ayin ve'efes mamish, that ray is considered to be nothing and zero. Mamish, actually, lagabe guf kader hashemesh, relative to the ball of the sun. That's the source of that shine and that ray. The shine and the ray is there. The kader hashemesh is totally bottom. As at length written in the Sefer Beinu Shal Yichud of Muna Peri Gimel, that when the ray is included in the sun, ein neufel alov shom Hashem yesh klal, Hashem ein ve'efes. That when the oir is included in the sun, you cannot call it yesh. It's an entity. There's nothing there. You can only call him by the name of ein ve'efes, nothing. It says over there in the Sharich and Namuna. Over there, it is taket nothing. So it says, Vihine, but there's a chilek. By the shemesh, it's an oir because it's not like the shemesh chooses to shine. It's natural. The Eibishter, when the shemesh is there, it shines. But by the Eibishter, it works differently. In a ziv hashemesh, meir ma'ashemesh aloi berotzun u'bechirim ma'ashemesh. The ray of the sun shines from the sun without the will and without the choice of the sun. The sun doesn't make a choice that it's going to shine. The kosh came the kavachoymer be'elef alfa abdollos le'inketz le'maylo. And how much more so, distinguished above, shaliyos gilui ha'oir. So over there, it comes not because of the choice of the sun. And yet, the ray has no value next to the sun. So how much more so? Koshke v'kavachomer, be'elef alfei havdolis, 10,000 to distinguish, le'en ketz l'mayla, above, higher. Shaliyos gilui ha'oir, that to be the light by Hashem to make the oir in sof. When it went up to his will and his desire. So if in Cain koyach zeh hakolu ba'atzmusay, so then therefore that power that is included in the essence, u'ayin ve'efes mamesh gabe mahusay ve'atzmusay, it's like nothing and zero next to the essence, just like the person's name relative to his atzmus, his essence. And this is the idea that before the world was just him and his name alone. Kosev HaRizal. Oh, it's that Rizal. I said the parties before, but it's that Rizal. That's why the Rizal writes, the last possible, that's the level, that less possible, that's the Achele Nivra Ha'ilam, that's the Oir, that is Kolul in the Shemesh, that's the level of Atik, that's the level of Ein Soif, and that's the upper level from the Keser, and then becomes a Memutza later on for between the Maitzil and the Tzolim, as the Alter Rebbe will continue to explain.